Criminal Law Book 1, 100, Review Questions, Part 2.
Are you ready? 1.
The body of the crime, a locus criminis. B. Habeas corpus. C. In flagranti delicto. D. Corpus delicti. D. Corpus delicti.
2.
The correct statement about the body of the crime. A. The body of the crime refers to the findings of law enforcers. B. The body of the crime refers to the body of the offended party. C. The body of the crime refers to the facts and circumstances showing that a crime has been committed. D. None of the above. C. The body of the crime refers to the facts and circumstances showing that a crime has been committed.
3.
The legislative act which inflicts punishment without a trial. A. Ex post facto law. B. Bill of Attainder. C. Law on preferential application. D. Self-repealing law. B. Bill of Attainder.
4.
Which of these courts will have jurisdiction over a Vietnamese crew who murdered a Filipino crew member on board a sea vessel registered under Japanese law while that vessel is anchored within Subic Bay? A. Vietnam Court, because the offenders are Vietnamese. B. Manila Court, because we follow the English rule. C. American Court, because we follow the French rule. D. Japan Court, because the sea vessel registered under Japanese law. B. Manila Court, because we follow the English rule.
5.
An act or omission punishable by the revised penal code is a. Heinous crimes. B. Offense. C. Felony. D. Crime. C. Felony.
6.
When a Filipino kills a Chinese on board a vessel bearing the flag of Canada while the vessel is in the Philippines waters, may the criminal law of the Philippines apply? A. Yes, the Philippine criminal law is applicable. B. Yes, since the offender is a Filipino. C. No, it is the Canadian criminal law that applies. D. No, the Philippine criminal law is not applicable. A. Yes, the Philippine criminal law is applicable.
7.
When a crime is committed on board a U.S. warship while it is on Philippines waters, the underscore. A. Philippine criminal law shall be applicable. B. Us military law shall be applicable. C. Us criminal law shall be applicable in our courts. D. Philippine criminal law shall not be applicable. D. Philippine criminal law shall not be applicable.
8.
The following are elements of frustrated stage in the commission of the crime except A. The acts performed would produce the felony as a consequence. B. But the felony is not produced. C. The offender performs all acts of execution. D. By reason of spontaneous desistance of the accused. D. By reason of spontaneous desistance of the accused.
9.
Which is the law enacted by Congress that imposes a penalty other than the revised penal code? A. Statute. B. Ordinances. C. Special penal laws. D. Criminal code. C. Special penal laws.
10.
The new and independent act which is the immediate cause of the injury, and which breaks the connection between the original wrong and the injury, is referred to as the cause. A. Effective intervening. B. Efficient connecting. C. Causal connecting. D. Efficient intervening. D. Efficient intervening.
11.
X is charged of a crime in violation of RA 9262 Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children. What is the nature of the crime committed by X? A. Special penal law. B. Revised penal code. C. Mala in se. D. Mala prohibita. C. Mala in se.
12.
What is this justifying circumstance wherein the accused, in making the defense, must not be induced by revenge or ill motive? A. Defense of relative. B. Self-defense of relative. C. Defense of stranger. D. Self-defense of stranger. C. Defense of stranger.
13.
In the exempting circumstance of compulsion of irresistible force, the irresistible force must be in the form of A. Intimidation. B. Physical fear. C. Spiritual force. D. Physical force. D. Physical force.
14.
What is this justifying circumstance wherein the person assaulted is related to the accused by consanguinity within the fourth degree? A. Defense of stranger. B. Self-defense. C. Defense of relative. D. Property defense. C. Defense of relative.
15.
What is duration of reclusion temporal? A. 12 years and 1 day to 20 years. B. 6 years and 1 day to 12 years. C. 6 months and 1 day to 6 years. D. None of the above. A. 12 years and 1 day to 20 years.
16.
Under Republic Act 7659, the death penalty may be suspended when the accused is among the following, except A. Women while pregnant. B. Persons over 70 years of age. C. Women within 1 year after delivery. D. Persons over 18 but under 21 years of age. D. Persons over 18 but under 21 years of age.
17.
The following shall not be considered as penalties except A. The arrest and temporary detention of accused persons, as well as their detention by reason of insanity or imbecility, or illness requiring their confinement in a hospital. B. The imprisonment of a person found guilty of a crime by final judgment. C. Suspension from the employment of public office during the trial or in order to institute proceedings. D. Fines and other corrective measures which, in the exercise of their administrative disciplinary powers, superior officials may impose upon their subordinates. B. The imprisonment of a person found guilty of a crime by final judgment.
18.
Jose, knowingly Marco's plan, lent his bolo to the latter who used the same in killing William. Jose is A. Principal by inducement. B. Accessory. C. Accomplice. D. Conspirator. C. Accomplice.
19.
The one who destroyed the body of the crime or effects or instruments thereof, in order to prevent its discovery. A. Principal by deed. B. Principal. C. Accomplice. D. Accessory. D. Accessory.
20.
Which of the following statements is correct? A. Capital felonies are punishable only when they have been consummated. B. Grave felonies are punishable only when they have been consummated. C. Light felonies are punishable only when they have been consummated. D. Less grave felonies are punishable only when they have been consummated. C. Light felonies are punishable only when they have been consummated.
21.
Jose was a 17-year-old child who committed murder. The minority of Jose is a justifying circumstance, B. Exempting circumstance, C. Aggravating circumstance, D. Mitigating circumstance. B. Exempting circumstance.
22.
Self-defense includes the following except A. Defense of person or body of the person assaulted. B. Defense of his rights protected by law. C. Defense of chastity. D. Defense of masculinity. D. Defense of masculinity.
23.
The other term for relatives by marriage. A. Relatives by consanguinity. B. Relatives by relativity. C. Relatives by affinity. D. Relatives after virginity. C. Relatives by affinity.
24.
Where there are no houses at all, a place at a considerable distance from town, or where the houses are scattered at a great distance from each other. A. Uninhabited place. B. Vacant place. C. Inhabited place. D. Dwelling place. A. Uninhabited place.
25.
The presence of a privileged mitigating circumstance will reduce the penalty into A. Period. B. Degree. C. Either A or B. D. Neither A nor B. B. Degree.
26.
The designation of the person charged before the court. A. Suspect. B. Respondent. C. Convict. D. Accused. D. Accused.
27.
An example of justifying circumstance. A. Voluntary surrender. B. Dwelling. C. Minority. D. Self-defense. D. Self-defense.
28.
The use of violence or physical force to compel another person to commit a crime. A. Uncontrollable fear. B. Resistible force. C. Irresistible force. D. Premeditation. C. Irresistible force.
29.
The other term for fault. A. Dolo. B. Intensiado. C. Deliberato. D. Culpa. D. Culpa.
30.
The act or omission punishable by the revised penal code. A. Felony. B. Offense. C. Obstruction of ordinance. D. Crime. A. Felony.
31.
The circumstance which pertains to the moral order, which adds disgrace and obloquy to the material injury caused by the crime. A. Ignominy. B. Cruelty. C. Treachery. D. Evident premeditation. A. Ignominy.
32.
The following are alternative circumstances except A. Relationship. B. Cruelty. C. Intoxication. D. Degree of instruction. B. Cruelty.
33.
This is when a single act constitutes two or more grave or less grave felonies. A. Complex crime proper. B. Compound crime. C. Continuing. D. Complex. B. Compound crime.
34.
One of the three equal portions of a penalty called minimum, medium, and maximum of divisible penalty. A. Degree. B. Period. C. Prescription. D. Duration. B. Period.
35.
This doctrine states that he who has the last opportunity to avoid the injury but did not do his part to avoid is liable to the resulting injuries or damages. A. Reckless imprudence. B. Simple imprudence. C. Doctrine of contributory negligence. D. Doctrine of the last clear chance. B. Simple imprudence.
36.
A mitigating circumstance that can be offset by an aggravating circumstance. A. Inherent. B. General. C. Ordinary. D. Privileged. C. Ordinary.
37.
Whenever more than 3 armed male factors shall have acted together in the commission of an offense. A. Band. B. Use of superior strength. C. Dwelling. D. Aid of armed men. A. Band.
38.
Which of the following statements is incorrect in relation to mitigating circumstance? A. There are 4 classifications of mitigating circumstances. B. Privileged mitigating circumstances will lessen the penalties by degrees. C. Ordinary mitigating circumstances will lessen the penalties by periods. D. Mitigating circumstance have the same effect with extenuating circumstances. A. There are 4 classifications of mitigating circumstances.
39.
The one who directly forced or induced others to commit a crime. A. Principle by deed. B. Principle by induction. C. Principle by indispensable cooperation. D. Principle by direct participation. B. Principle by induction.
40.
Private persons who assist in the escape of the principles of a crime of parricide. A. Principle by deed. B. Principle. C. Accomplice. D. Accessory. D. Accessory.
41.
The prescriptive period of violation of ordinance. A. 1 month. B. 2 months. C. 3 months. D. For months. B. 2 months.
42.
The one who assisted the principal before the commission of the crime, but his assistance is not indispensable in the commission of the crime. A. Principle by deed. B. Principle. C. Accomplice. D. Accessory. C. Accomplice.
43.
The quality in which an act may be ascribed to a person as the author or owner. A. Culpability. B. Imputability. C. Liability. D. Responsibility. B. Imputability.
44.
An alternative circumstance that is aggravating when habitual. A. Relationship. B. Cruelty. C. Intoxication. D. Degree of instruction. C. Intoxication.
45.
An example of ordinary mitigating circumstance. A. Voluntary surrender. B. Dwelling. C. Minority, D. Self-defense. A. Voluntary surrender,
46.
which is not considered a source of criminal law. A. Revised Penal Code, B. Presidential Decree, C. 1987 Philippine Constitution, D. Batas Pambansa. C. 1987 Philippine Constitution.
47.
A mitigating circumstance that cannot be offset by an aggravating circumstance. A. Inherent, B. General, C. Ordinary, D. Privileged. D. Privileged.
48.
Light felonies are made punishable only when they are A. Consummated, B. Attempted, C. Frustrated, D. None of the above. A. Consummated.
49.
The way not intended for the purpose. A. Uninhabited place, B. Unlawful exit, C. Unlawful entry, D. Unlawful place. C. Unlawful entry.
50.
The failure to take the necessary precaution to avoid injury to person or damage to property. It indicates deficiency of action and usually involves lack of skill, A. Deceit, malice, B. Fault, C. Imprudence, D. Negligence. C. Imprudence.
51.
The one who cooperated in the commission of a crime by another act without which it would not have been accomplished. A. Principle by deed, B. Principle by induction, C. Principle by indispensable cooperation, D. Principle by direct participation. C. Principle by indispensable cooperation.
52.
Which of the following statements is not correct? A. A fine shall be considered an afflictive penalty if it exceeds 1 million to 100,000 pesos P1, 200,000. B. A fine shall be considered correctional penalty if it does not exceed 1 million to 100,000 pesos P1, 200,000, but is not less than 40,000 pesos P40, 000. C. A fine shall be considered light penalty if be less than 40,000 pesos P40, 000. D. None of the above. D. None of the above.
53.
The following accessories are exempt from criminal liability in cases of theft, malicious mischief, and estafa, except A. Spouse, B. Ascendant, C. Descendant, D. First cousin. D. First cousin.
54.
The other term for praeter intentionem. A. Mistake of fact, B. Mistake of the blow, C. Mistake in identity, D. Injurious result is greater than that intended. D. Injurious result is greater than that intended.
55.
Public officers who, in abuse their public functions, harbor, conceal, or assist in the escape of the principal of the crime. A. Principal by deed, B. Principal, C. Accomplice, D. Accessory. D. Accessory.
56.
The assault or at least threatened assault of an immediate nature. A. Intent, B. Culpa, C. Dolo, D. Unlawful aggression. D. Unlawful aggression.
57.
The crime of libel and other similar offenses shall prescribe in A. 1 year, B. 2 years, C. 3 years, D. for years. A. 1 year.
58.
The forfeiture or loss of the right of the state to prosecute the offender after a certain lapse of time. A. Prescription of crime. B. Prescription of penalty. C. Degree of the penalty. D. Period of the penalty. A. Prescription of crime.
59.
The law establishing the periods of prescription for violations penalized by special acts and municipal ordinances, and providing when prescription shall begin to run. A. Act 3326. B. Act 3815. C. Act 1912. D. None of the above. A. Act 3326.
60.
The special time calamity allowance for loyalty for inmates who did not escape despite our awarded a deduction of the penalty. A. 1/5, B. to fifths, C. 3/5, D. 1/4. B. to fifths.
61.
In case the accused cannot pay the fine, he shall serve subsidiary imprisonment at rate of A. Philippine peso 100 per day, B. Philippine peso 40 per day, C. Minimum wage, D. to be determined by the trial court. C. Minimum wage.
62.
This is when the offender, acting under a single criminal resolution, come at about the same penal provision, series of acts in the same place. A. Composite crime. B. Compound crime. C. Continuing. D. Complex. C. Continuing.
63.
This is when one or some of the offenses must be necessary means to commit the other. A. Complex crime proper. B. Compound crime. C. Continuing. D. Complex. A. Complex crime proper.
64.
These are correctional penalties except A. Prison correctional. B. Arresto mayor. C. Prison mayor. D. Destiro. C. Prison mayor.
65.
What duration of prison correctional? A. 12 years and 1 day to 20 years. B. 6 years and 1 day to 12 years. C. 6 months and 1 day to 6 years. D. 1 month and 1 day to 6 months. C. 6 months and 1 day to 6 years.
66.
The penalties with fixed duration and are divisible into 3 periods. A. Divisible. B. Indivisible. C. Fixed. D. Not fixed. A. Divisible.
67.
The penalties with no fixed duration. A. Divisible. B. Indivisible. C. Fixed. D. Not fixed. B. Indivisible.
68.
The penalties expressly imposed by the court in the judgment of conviction. A. Principal penalties. B. Final penalties. C. Accessory penalties. D. General penalties. A. Principal penalties.
69.
The cessation of life or permanent cessation of all vital functions and signs. A. Imprisonment. B. Death. C. Suspension. D. Dismissal. B. Death.
70.
The crimes where the civil liability is extinguished, but the criminal liability is not extinguished by the pardon of the offended party. A. Prescriptive offenses. B. Private crimes. C. Principal crimes. D. Public crimes. D. Public crimes.
71.
What is capital punishment? A. Maximum of imprisonment. B. Death. C. Suspension. D. Dismissal. B. Death.
72.
The penalties that are deemed included in the imposition of the principal penalties. A. Principal penalties. B. Accomplice penalties. C. Accessory penalties. D. General penalties. C. Accessory penalties.
73.
The one suffered by a convict who has no personal property with which to meet the fine and a specific rate per day of imprisonment, subject to the rules provided under Art. 39 of the Revised Penal Code. A. Solidary penalty. B. Subsidiary penalty. C. Final penalties. D. Accessory penalties. B. Subsidiary penalty.
74.
The stiro consists of banishment of the convict to a distance of A. Not less than 25 kilometers, but not more than 250 kilometers radius. B. Not less than 50 kilometers, but not more than 250 kilometers radius. C. Not more than 25 kilometers, but less than 250 kilometers radius. D. None of the above. A. Not less than 25 kilometers, but not more than 250 kilometers radius.
75.
What is the duration of temporary disqualification? A. 12 years and 1 day to 20 years. B. 6 years and 1 day to 12 years. C. 6 months and 1 day to 6 years. D. 1 day to 30 days. B. 6 years and 1 day to 12 years.
76.
This is the duration of death penalty. A. 12 years and 1 day to 20 years. B. 6 years and 1 day to 12 years. C. 6 months and 1 day to 6 years. D. None of the above. D. None of the above.
77.
The forfeiture or loss of the right of state to prosecute the offender after the lapse of a certain time. A. Prescription of offender. B. Prescription of crime. C. Prescription of penalty. D. Preventive imprisonment. B. Prescription of crime.
78.
The sentence of imprisonment where the maximum period of which is defined by law and the minimum is to be determined by the trial court. A. Prescription of the crime. B. Prescription of penalty. C. Period of the penalty. D. Indeterminate sentence. D. Indeterminate sentence.
79.
The civil liability of the offender shall be extinguished in any of the following manner except A. By payment or performance. B. By the loss of the thing due. C. By condonation or remission of debt. D. By the death of the offended party. D. By the death of the offended party.
80.
Criminal liability is partially extinguished in any of the following manners except a. By absolute pardon. B. By commutation of the sentence. C. For good conduct allowances which the culprit may earn while he is serving his sentence. D. By parole. A. By absolute pardon.
81.
The running of prescription of violation of the revised penal code is interrupted a. Upon discovery of the crime. B. When filed in the prosecutor's office. C. When filed in court. D. When filed either in prosecutor's office or in court. D. When filed either in prosecutor's office or in court.
82.
The following are pecuniary liabilities of an offender except a. Reparation of the damage caused. B. Indemnification of consequential damages. C. Civil interdiction. D. Cost of the proceedings. C. Civil interdiction.
83.
The crimes where both the civil liability and criminal liability are extinguished by the pardon of the offended party. A. Prescriptive offenses. B. Private crimes. C. Principal crimes. D. Public crimes. B. Private crimes.
84.
The following are considered as private crimes except A. Concubinage. B. Adultery. C. Seduction. D. Rape. D. Rape.
85.
An accessory exempt from criminal liability in the crime of theft. A. Spouse of the witness. B. Spouse of the victim. C. Spouse of the offender. D. Spouse of the accomplice. C. Spouse of the offender.
86.
The ones who aid the perpetrators by hiding the evidence of the crime. A. Principals. B. Accessories. C. Accomplices. D. Conspirators. B. Accessories.
87.
The one who, not being a principal, cooperates in the execution of the offense by previous or simultaneous act. A. Principal by deed. B. Principal. C. Accomplice. D. Accessory. C. Accomplice.
88.
X gave Z an amount of 5 million to kill Y. Z killed Y. The participation of X in the crime committed is A. Principal by deed. B. Principal by induction. C. Principal by indispensable cooperation. D. Principal by direct participation. B. Principal by induction.
89.
The following are considered as relatives under alternative circumstances except A. Ascendant. B. Descendant. C. Assailant. D. Brother. C. Assailant.
90.
This is known as the deliberate planning. A. Ignominy. B. Treachery. C. Lucid interval. D. Evident premeditation. D. Evident premeditation.
91.
This involves cunning and intellectual machinery. A. Astucia. B. Cruelty. C. Disguise. D. Fraud. A. Astucia.
92.
Habitual delinquency is limited only to the following 6 felonies. A. Robbery, estafa, malversation, theft, serious physical injuries, less serious physical injuries. B. Serious physical injuries, less serious injuries, theft, robbery, treason. C. Falsification, robbery, estafa, theft, serious physical injuries, less serious physical injuries. D. Treason, falsification, malversation, theft, robbery, serious physical injuries. C. Falsification, robbery, estafa, theft, serious physical injuries, less serious physical injuries.
93.
When the offender has been previously punished for an offense to which the law attaches an equal or greater penalty, or for 2 or more crimes to which it attaches a lighter penalty, it is not a form of habituality. A. Habitual delinquency. B. Quasi-recidivism. C. Reiteration. D. Recidivism. C. Reiteration.
94.
The illness of the offender must diminish the exercise of his willpower. A. Exempting circumstances. B. Mitigating circumstances. C. Alternative circumstances. D. Justifying circumstances. A. Exempting circumstances.
95.
Jose, father of Ryan, sold the cell phone to Marco knowing it is from the theft. Jose is liable for A. Accomplice, B. Accessory, C. Principal, D. Fencing. B. Accessory.
96.
Avoidance of greater evil or injury is a kind of A. Alternative circumstance, B. Exempting circumstance, C. Justifying circumstance, D. Mitigating circumstance. C. Justifying circumstance.
97.
This is a misapprehension of fact on the part of the person causing injury to another. The actor, however, is not criminally liable. A. Ex post facto. B. Mistake in identity. C. Mistake in the blow. D. Mistake of fact. D. Mistake of fact.
98.
What is this phase in the commission of the crime where person did not stop the commission of the crime because of spontaneous desistance or because of the presence of the police until he performs all the acts of execution but does not produce the felony? A. Internal. B. External. C. Objective. D. Subjective. C. Objective.
99.
What is this justifying circumstance wherein the person assaulted is related to the accused by consanguinity within the 4th degree? A. Defense of stranger. B. Parricide defense. C. Self-defense. D. Defense of relative. D. Defense of relative.
100.
In the exempting circumstance of compulsion of irresistible force, the irresistible force must be in the form of underscore. A. Intimidation. B. Physical fear. C. Spiritual force. D. Physical force. D. Physical force.
Comment your score.
Study smarter, not harder. Subscribe for more.